Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Okay, get your petty tea out, all my royalty. Let's continue. Because, yeah, you already know I'm skipping over the other part of what I normally say because until everybody eats, yeah, until everybody eats. So, but after I did my whole part four, which yeah, it's like I don't think I've done one. Oh, I know I haven't done one five-parter. I could, and I'll get back to some of the subjects that I've talked about before, but right now I'm on this one. And one reason is because so many conservative Republicans, the same people who go to church almost every Sunday, majority, most of them, they're so religious and everything, and they want to spew especially the red words or the red portions of the Bible and everything like that. But while they're doing that, they want to degrade, dehumanize, and judge and belittle people who are the same exact people who are in need and who Jesus would have fed and sheltered and made sure they were okay. Yeah. And he would have given and given because just to give out of love. And like one thing that is like, it was really odd at my church because they would always say, give and you will receive, give and you'll get tenfold, give to the church. Like, 'cause it was always like they really wanted you to give to the church. But yeah, they would say, you can volunteer and give elsewhere, but give to the church. The Lord wants you to give to the church, and yeah, it's like, yeah. Let's just say I've got some opinions on, yeah. But back to the cell phone part. It's crazy how much people judge you just based off of your cell phone. They don't care about any of the other parts of your life. It's like if you don't have a certain phone, the iPhone, and it has to be a certain model or year. Because I believe isn't like iPhone 15 or 17 like that coming out. I think they're like yeah, 15 or 17 something. Something between that. Oh my gosh, when 20 comes out, that's going to be crazy. But it's working that like as a promotional model, working the iPhone gigs. And the thing is like, yeah, iPhone is a good product, but I'm bothered by it because so many people judge others based off of that one thing. And what about their sense of humor? What about the quality of conversation? What about whenever you need them, they have your back? Or if you have a flat tire, that's the first person you think of. It's like you'll call them when you need the flat tire, but because they have an Android, you're not gonna want to spend time with them. You're not gonna want to, because I've actually had guys who it's like you meet and you date. Like some of the guys before we ended up meeting, they found I had Android. They wanted nothing to do with me. Not all, but some. I've had this happen a few times. And or when we meet in person, then they find out. Then they want to keep asking me, so why don't you have an iPhone? When are we gonna get you to the iPhone store so we can get you switched? It's like, oh, you think you're gonna be walking around me with that phone? And it's so if you listen to the part four, I say this because like so many of the conservatives were just like, if I see you with an iPhone, especially if I see you with a new iPhone or a newer version of it, it's like I know you don't need anything. I know you don't. Americans judge and they're so materialistic, so materialistic. And especially with so many dating apps, it's like, look at my Patreon. Oh, yeah. Look at my pay. Like, guys, yeah. $2 a month. Okay. I have screenshots and evidence for days of racists, of bigots, of terrible human beings. And then, especially the racist bigots. Oh my gosh, so many. But then also men who ask me what kind of phone do I use. I don't know if I'm still uploading. I have so many more. But then men who also like right after hello or how are you, when can I come over to sleep with you, or in some way they basically say they want me to sleep with them. And I don't like, all I know is that they like to say hi, hey, or hello, and or how are you, young lady, how are you, beautiful. Like that's literally all I know about them, other than what they put on their profile for everyone to see. Yeah. Yeah. But in a lot of these got like, one thing that you might notice is how certain men certain men, like 50% of their photos is of their vehicle, and or they have money like on the table, and or with their face or with their body they're holding up money, and they have wads of money on their lap. And part of me just feels like, do you like, why, like, I think maybe it's because I'm a sapiosexual. It's like I'm not like, and some people are like, but you invest money. And some people are going to say, you're stuck up. You require a man to invest money. I require a man to invest money because most men keep trying to use or borrow my money. And or they claim they want to borrow it, but then when I say I want it back, because there was even one where with Mr. No Heart, I said I want to create a contract. Oh, you don't love me then. You must not really care about me. You don't trust me. You don't like, gaslighting up the wazoo. But then when it came time to pay it, oh, oh, you don't love me then. It's like, no, that should have just been, we're in a relationship. It's different. It's like, I shouldn't have to. This is why I said I wanted a contract. Oh, but we're in a relationship. Like, no, no, no. It's like, just relax. Just, it'll even out one day. But it never did. It's like the same man who refused to go to my mother's funeral, the same man who refused to go to the hospital when I had major surgery, the man who refused to call me to check up on me when I had to have so many tests done to try to figure out what I would be diagnosed with. The nights where I'm in tears because I'm in so much pain, before and after the surgery, because it's like I was still having symptoms because I wasn't diagnosed yet. But who refused to call me and tell me that everything was going to be okay? And whose mother apologized to me because she said she couldn't believe her son was so awful. She was a racist bigot, but she did admit that her own son was terrible. Was terrible. But it's just really crazy because I think he was kind of dependent on that truck, because women, just like, since he had a big red truck and everything, that he, like, women would find him more like attractive because of it. A lot of men do this, and I'm not, well, I was going to say that, not that materialistic, and you know what, I'm not that. I guess I do have a little, because there are some men who, they have just given up on, or they feel like they're obligated for everything to come their way, just because they are, most times this is white men too, but yeah. So uh I just, with him and his red truck and everything, is it's almost the way that he used it for to gain women's attention too. And I just noticed, especially like while dating on dating apps, Plenty of Fish, Scout, Meet Me, um there's some more, well, Facebook dating, Hinge, Bumble. Like, one thing that I see a lot are the men who, they have pictures all of their car, none of their, like, some, if it is in their house, usually they're holding up a weapon, or they have money all in it, and bottles of alcohol. Yeah, yeah. But it's really sad because it's like, and a lot of these men, they're mad that they're single, but then they wonder why they're single. But then those are the kind of photos they have. But then when they meet the women who would like those profiles, they don't want anything to do with those women. But then when they find women like myself, because yeah, all of the screenshots that I show you are men who swiped right on me. But then when I swipe left on them, or when, so I was like, there was a time where I told them, yeah, we're not a match, but if you want to chat, because it's like partially I want to see the reaction. And sometimes I actually did want to talk to them. I mean, because not the guys who had the weapons and stuff in the pictures, but there were some where I'm like, okay, we're not a match, like dating wise, but you seem interesting. You seem like we can at least have conversation. Oh, they get so mad. Then they tell women to be polite and nice and everything to them, but then when you are, it's like because they say if you're gonna turn me down, be nice about it. But when we do, you're nothing but a B word. You're nothing but, oh, how stupid are you? Oh, you're a piece of trash. No wonder you're single. No man's ever going to want you. Well, you kind of wanted me for a second until I told you it wasn't a match. But it's like people label each other on material things all of the time. And I'm not going to say I'm fully innocent. Like, I try not to. But I mean, I am human. And I think it's like, but one thing is like, I know like when I see a guy has like half of his pictures be of his vehicle, I already know it's not going to be a match. I can't stand that. And if it's even of his house, the house could be lovely, but then I kind of wonder why are you so dependent on, like, do you think the woman's only going to date you because of the house? It's like, why don't you show who you are? Why don't you enhance who you are? It's like, don't you want a woman to want you for you and not you for what you have? But back to the food stamps thing, it's like a lot of people, they want to put down people who have the fancier iPhones or some of the nicer things. And sometimes they do that kind of like dating apps. They want to be seen a certain way. They want to be able to be seen as human or valuable or worth people's time. And it's not just, you know, I mean, it's partially materialistic, but partially because they want to be seen at a certain level. They don't want to be looked down on. So when it comes to food stamps and people want to judge who gets it, who doesn't, it's like, I mean, well, yeah, sometimes when I see people with all the money and everything, so I'm just like, okay, why don't you invest that? Why is it on a table just sitting there? Why don't you do something with it that's gonna, like, I mean, even like, I'm not saying just start a business, but it's like, I don't know, like, yeah. So yeah, with me, so see, I'm not perfect because like, yeah, I definitely swipe on those I swipe left to the left to the left, just like Beyonce's song, because I that's one of my pet peeves. I cannot stand that whatsoever. Whatsoever. I mean, but am I going to judge them if they are on food stamps? No, because I don't know their full story. Because that cash, that money might be from their job or whatever they do. You know, it's like, I mean, I've met some guys who have the cash, or not met them face to face, but like sometimes when I say we're not compatible, we can chat. Next thing I know, I find out, oh, they're a stripper. And I mean, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, some of them, oh, they were pretty handsome and they were cute, but still not compatible. And but once I like, yeah, some of them might be strippers, some of them might have different jobs where that's their tip money. You never know. But when you take the picture and put it on the profile, it kind of, especially if they try to put the largest bill on top, you're not gonna know what the rest of the bills are. But it's like it's kind of like, well, no, dating is marketing. Dating profiles is marketing. And so it's just kind of entertaining and funny and amusing sometimes when I see those pictures, but then also when I get the backstory of the photos of the money and things. So, but some people just want to stereotype and label and everything. And because, yeah, you don't know, like, one of them, vending machine business. And it made so much sense. So it's like, I mean, I'm not gonna say all of them were legal because yeah, there were a couple where I'm just like, oop, block, nope, nope. There have been a few where it was just like, yeah, my name is Joe and I don't know and I'm about to delete. Yep. So, but I don't know, just hearing a lot of these recordings or TikToks and social media things of people saying, if you have this, if you do that, blah, 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 then, oh, if you get Oreos, if you get these snacks, if you get this, like, shut up. Stop. We're talking about human beings. And also, if they are using the system, if they are, there's one like, if you're so religious, wait until they meet the maker. If you're so upset, wait until they end up at the, well, if they end up at the Golden Gates, they might have some questions, some preliminaries before they get entered in. But if they end up down below, I mean, that might be added to that list. So it's none of our business, like, because I'd rather, it's kind of like even with our court system, innocent until proven guilty. I'd rather the innocent be fed. I'd rather that one guilty person get fed than 100 innocent people starve. I'd rather. Yes, does it suck that someone is going to be getting away? Yes, it is. But at the same time, I'd rather feed who needs it. And I've already, like, being episode 5 of this, and I have so many. I'm going to separate into other topics, other, not the series, basically, because I know 5 is kind of enough. And I'm going to talk more about, I'll title it differently, but all of this is perfect under this one. But just, it's disheartening. And seeing how humanity is, and also seeing how toxic the internet can be. Because, like, seeing the fake news when people are like, oh, or I don't even like saying, like, when people call human beings illegal and everything. But the immigrants, it's like they're getting the food stamps and they're using our money and they're taking advantage. Okay, but okay, look at the orange man though. Look at the orange man. He started that Bitcoin. How much? Oh, and actually, how much money has he made since he's been in office this year? In like 10 months, how much money has he made? How many billions of dollars has he made? And how many, like, business talks has he made while being president, even with his sons that they have this club. Well, I think it's a million or 100,000 or a million. Like, I forgot how much, but it's like they have to pay a fee in order to be a member. Then you can talk to political people, American political people, about your business and different, like, whatever, locker room talk. I don't know. But then he has the watch and the Bible, and there's so many other things. And now he's tearing up and some people are like, oh, I'm glad he's tearing up the White House. Look, Obama spent like how many millions on the basketball court, and that doesn't make any sense. How much does it, like, especially there's no arena, it's a basketball court. It's an outside basketball court. You have to paint it, do create the court and stuff. That doesn't cost like, and you know what? I might have a full episode on the amount of money that it possibly could have cost with construction materials and everything. Because I keep, like, so many Republicans keep saying Obama did it, Obama did. And then it's like they're just showing their bigotry, racist, stupid, poorly educated souls. Because it's like, instead of listening to what Newsmax and Fox News and Fox News calls themselves entertainment. They had a lawsuit, and part of their evidence was like, no, we're not news, we're entertainment. Hint, hint. Hint, hint. But it's just what is going on in this country? Because you knock down one part of a building, and now it's gonna cost like 2 to 300 million dollars. It's like, oh, they're gonna build that, but you don't want to feed the needy. You don't want to take care, like. And then some people are like, well, like we're gonna have to like get the tents for the large events and the heaters and this and that. That costs so much money. Like, yeah, okay, yeah. Is that great? No, but at the same, like, when you're choosing a ballroom over lives, but then at the same time, remember when Elon Musk and his mother were like, you guys need to have more babies. Even if you can't go to the theater, even if you can't go out to eat, you need to have more babies for the population. You need to have more kids for our nation, even though they're from Africa. Like, you guys don't like, because this is one reason why I say it's like some people just pay attention to the day, the week, or maybe even the month. They don't look at the full timeline. They like, because even with the African American population, so many people want to stereotype us, put us down, belittle us, judge us, but then they don't look at what got us in the situation where we're still trying to dig ourselves out. They don't know about when the government, like, agencies would like placed special candy all around it, like the urban cities. They don't know, like, some, like, even in grade school, many, like, do you know how many adults don't even know about all of the massacres that happened, all of the strange fruit that happened? And then, like, even, oh, boomers do not want you to know about the truth with segregation, desegregation. It's like, because even when I was in high school, our teacher made sure we didn't cover that. It's like, I remember seeing that in our history book, but oh, she made sure, she took her time when it came to making sure that the whitewashed history was taught. But she made sure we weren't going to cover. And I remember with slavery, it was like one page. I mean, it was 2 pages, but half of one of the pages was Harriet Tubman. You turn the page, it was over. And so when it comes to our history and our history's value, they took away the value of our own history. They refused to teach it in classrooms because that's so many of these ignorant, poorly educated, like, kids, like, because we got the parents, but they want to make sure their kids remain poorly educated when it comes to people not like them. They want to make sure that they can create an excuse of why they can degrade and put down black people. They want an excuse on why they can ban our books. But the most important, they want to be able to devalue us. They want to say that we deserve less than, that we don't work as hard, that we are lazy. They trapped us within the stereotype of food stamps, even though it was made for the Caucasian people. They wanted to label it on us to make us look bad, to make us look, less than. And it's pathetic and sad and despicable, disgusting, but I mean, we shouldn't be judged by the color of our skin, by the cell phones that we use, by the car that we drive, based off the type of housing that we live in. We shouldn't. A lot of us, by habit, because we are taught, because of this corporate capitalization of a country, we are taught to do that, but we shouldn't. A human is a human, and we should base it off their personality, their character. their empathy and sympathy for another person, but we don't. And the people who we should be judging are these rich millionaire billionaires who don't want to pay taxes, who will, in every single way they can, cheat the system, raise prices, like nobody's business, just to make sure that they are gaining more for their stock people, their investors. And it's, ugh, we should be judging the rich because even back, I forgot which president that said, "Oh, we're like, what about if we do it in a form where they make so much money and it's going to trickle down?" It didn't trickle down. So many decades later, and it's never trickled down. The rich have always found a way to make sure that money, once it's up there, it stays up there. And once that money stays there, they can borrow money from other banks without using their money. They can sacrifice and risk the money in the banks because they don't want to lose a penny of theirs, because their money is so valuable. Their money is precious. Their money is going to keep their family rich for decades and generations to come. But then they blame the poor for wanting to raise their hourly wage or salary. They want to blame them, but those are the people that helped make them rich. They're the ones that helped them stay in business, but they don't care because they know if they fire them, then they're gonna have to look for another job, and it's like some of them can't sacrifice that because they have to feed their children, they have to take care of their families, they have to try to stay alive and not homeless. They want to be able to try to feed themselves, but some of the companies, they pay so little they can hardly do that, so then they need to get on food stamps. But then we as a nation turn around and blame the poor, but we don't blame the rich for not being able to. Well, no, they are able to. They are able to pay their employees more, but they would rather feed their bank account. They would rather feed their greed. Maybe once I start back with the Handicapable Black Nerd channel, maybe I will be a nerd and start digging in to some of these companies, sharing how many employees, how much they get paid, and maybe even seeing if I can look up like the studies or the information of how many of their employees are on food stamps, how much vacation time, and even like dig into their policies and things, because it's like as a nation we're blind. It's like, well, we're money blind. It's like people are sniffing out for the money, but they're not sniffing out for the hearts and the love and just the the humanity. They say all lives matter as long as they don't have to chip in a penny. And it's sad and pathetic. And this is why, like, if someone decides to get their nails done, if someone decides to start their own, like, small business so that they can, like, oh yeah, back to that, because I think she was brilliant and smart. She made sure that money lasted. She made sure that money spread so that she can feed herself and the people in her household. I'm not knocking her. I want to high five her. I want to have brunch with her. I want to have tea with her. I want to talk. So, because people want to say she cheated the system, and it's just like, she did what rich people do. Rich people don't use their own money. And it's and the thing is, she was responsible with it. She was like, she's taking care of herself, her life. I'll do a full talk on that later, but this is the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handicapable. But most importantly, I am human, and you're human too.